I feel like you and I, all of us, have really had the same issue from the start with them, which is if you can't pass through midfield, you can't do much of anything.
I feel like actually Spurs fans are somewhat switched on to the numbers. Spurs fans were like pretty like, oh, this isn't great for us. Like, we're not awesome. They didn't get over their skis on it. It was very good that they didn't, because like now they're like, oh God, we are actually a disaster. It's just that like early we got some numbers and we got some luck, and now we don't. The problem is, what the hell do you do with this? And so often in football, like, we're looking for quick solutions. We didn't like the prices and necessarily the targets that they had in the transfer market, but particularly the prices. You know, when you're overpaying by like 20 million for guys, like that's too much. They got a worse passer in a defensive midfield spot, and you're like, oh yeah, okay, well, you know, good luck with that. I hope the ball sticks somewhere, but I'm not sure it's going to.
If they just had no money, I think that maybe they get a little bit more leeway, but they weren't behaving like in a liquid club. Like, they were chucking cash around. And I think, you know, Xavi Simons, it's possible that if he'd been there a couple of seasons, he might be able to fix some of this. You know, he might be able to be that guy who can actually link the thirds as well as being their primary creator in the final third. But he comes into the league, he's adapting physically, he's still a young guy, and on top of that, there's absolutely nobody who can pass him the ball. And on top of that, actually, there have been games recently where we've seen, you know, teams I think are getting smart about the fact that they know Romero is really the only guy who's going to pass out of this defense, so they can key on him. Porro hasn't started every game, and he's the other guy who's really a decent passer in this team. They have been unlucky though in certain regards. Okay, they were lucky early on in the season, but a lot of these games recently have been very close. They've just turned into losses. I mean, the PSG one, actually, very close on the underlying numbers. This Fulham match, they gave up pretty much nothing, but they lose. They gave up pretty much nothing against United, though they created nothing. They gave up pretty much nothing against Villa, you know, the Villa game where they just like, it's a couple of bad goals. But this is the problem of trying to play tight, right?